Hey, it's me, MLB. Here's chapter 35 of Future, and this one is titled Snapshots in Time. Just a little warning before we start. There is a little section of this chapter that I've cut out between Kaminari and Kyrie because it gets a little bit heavy petting. It's not quite an adult scene, but I thought it probably best if I chop it out. But I'll put the link in the description so that you can find it in the original book. This chapter switches from Gem and Shoto to the Bakugo residence. Why the hell won't Kiri answer his phone? Bakugo seethed after trying to call Kiri for the third time in a row, unsuccessfully. He's on his anniversary weekend, Mrs. Bakugo shot from across the table. Why are you so desperate to get in touch with him? No reason, Bakugo grumbled. He didn't want to admit to his wife that he missed his high school buddy and wanted to have a catch-up with him. Maybe a play date with their kids. Don't worry, he'll call you back the minute he sees all your missed calls, Mrs. Bakugo said sweetly with a cheeky glint in her eye as she got up and walked around to his side of the table. Senpai will notice you, she whispered in his ear, giggling as he growled at her mischievous line and tried to take a swipe at her. You're gonna get a good flogging one day. He snarled slyly at her, trying to hide his smile. She turned and wiggled her backside at him. Then spank me, Daddy, she leered playfully. Bakugo leapt up from his seat and dropped his phone onto the table as he chased his wife out of the kitchen. I'm gonna have you walking like you just got off a horse, he hollered at her, chasing her retreating, shrieking form down the hallway. This next part of the story cuts to you and Kiri just after you have done some adult activities on your anniversary weekend. Oh, this weekend has been amazing, he said. Oh, I wholeheartedly agree with you. You agreed enthusiastically with a giggle. We should do this getaway stuff more often, you added with a wink. Kiri smiled and kissed you again. Let me clear some of my weekends so that we can make this more regular, he said with a cheeky smile, reaching for his phone. Whoa, Bakugo's been blowing up my phone, he said suddenly. 3 missed calls and a where are you text. He laughed. Call him back, Sharky, he said as he rolled off the bed to clean up. We can watch some TV and have some snacks after. Okay, sure, Icky, he replied as he hit the callback button. It rang out. He must be busy now, Kiri thought as he sent him a quick message. 3 months later. Hey bro, Kiri called happily as he entered the bar and spotted Bakugo. Thanks for arranging a catch-up. Bakugo shrugged and leaned back in his chair. It's not a matter of thanking or anything, we just need to meet up once in a while. We're both pretty busy. Agreed, Kiri replied as he sat down opposite him. What's new since I saw you last? Well, Bakugo said with a cheeky smirk. My girl's pregnant again. No way, Kiri gasped. Congratulations, bro. How far along is she? About 10 weeks, Bakugo replied. What? You're kidding me, right? Kiri said in shock. Yin pregnant again too. She's about 10 weeks as well. Bakugo laughed. You've been busy, shitty air. So have you, Kiri laughed. Tell you what though, we had an awesome getaway on our anniversary weekend. He smirked. Is that when it happened then? Bakugo leered. Actually, it's probably about the same time my missus fell too. Well, cheers to us then, bro, Kiri said, raising the glass of beer the waitress had just brought over to him. They clinked glasses and drank, happy to be in each other's company once again. And then we cut to Kaminari and Kyrie. Kaminari approached the buzzer of the apartment building and scanned the numbers on the list to find Kyrie's apartment number. She had invited him over for dinner at her place. It was their 3-month dating anniversary, and although they had had their insecurities and hiccups along the way, they were loving being with each other, and Kaminari was hooked. She was the one for him. He pressed the button and waited. Hey babe, Kyrie's voice came through the crackly speaker. Come on up, she invited as the gate clicked open. Thanks, cutie, he replied and pushed the gate the last bit open and headed up to the building door. This was his first time at her place. She was still such a mystery to him, and he loved learning more and more about her. He made his way up to her door and knocked lightly on it. In a moment she answered it, throwing herself into his arms and planting a kiss directly on his lips. He chuckled with his lips pressed to hers and kissed her back, deepening the kiss as he walked through her open door and closed it behind him, carrying her as she dangled from the front of him. He turned her back to the wall and pressed his body into hers to hold her there as they continued to make out. and then he let his hands wander down her sides and grab onto her thighs as he pushed his hips into hers. "Oh, eager boy," she chuckled as she took her hands to his cheeks and pulled his face back a bit from hers. "Can you play me?" Kaminari said lowly, his breathing rate already increasing as his body reacted to their proximity. "Easy, tiger," she whispered seductively as she kissed him tenderly again. Kaminari groaned as she slipped out from between him and the wall and made her way down to the kitchen. "Come and I'll show you around," she said, changing the subject. Kaminari was trying so hard to concentrate on just being a good boy, but oh how his mind had slipped into the gutter. He followed her in a hypnotic state as she led him to the bedroom. "Well, nothing exciting to see here, but this is where I sleep," she laughed. Kaminari stalked up behind her and slid his hands across her hip and around to the front of her pants. Kaminari continued his ministries and snaked a hand between her back and the bed to undo her bra, and that's when she balked, quickly grabbing his arm with her hand to stop him. "What's up?" he panted, his eyes shooting up to meet hers. Dinky, she mumbled as she looked away. You don't want to continue?" he asked softly. She nodded as tears filled her eyes. "I'm so sorry. I've given you the wrong idea about tonight's agenda, and I led you on." No, it's okay, babe, honestly," he said, leaning up and kissing her on the forehead. "I'm sorry, I got carried away." "No, please don't apologize. I was getting super turned on, but She stopped as the lump in her throat blocked her voice. "Sweet, it's okay," Kaminari said again softly with a tender smile. "Listen, we'll proceed when you're ready, okay? I won't make any more moves like this, I promise. And when you're ready, you can call the shots, yeah?" Kairi sniffed and looked back into his eyes. "I'm so lucky to have you, Denki. You're so understanding," she said as she kissed him tenderly on the lips. "I really like you, Kai. And I want to show you that you mean more to me than just your gorgeous body, but I mean like, damn, girl, you're fine as hell," he said, leaning back so that he could get a good look at her topless form. "Speak for yourself, you gorgeous god," she said, biting her bottom lip as she ran her fingers down his chiseled torso. "I'm sorry I'm not built though," he said slightly sheepishly as he looked away. "What do you mean?" she replied, confused. "Well, my mates are pretty stacked, like, you know, big pecs, rippling 8-pack. "You mean Kirishima and your other friend, Dynamite?" she asked. "Yeah, them. They're machines, and I'm perfect," she added quickly, finishing off his sentence. "I love your body. It's exactly my type," she said with a grin. "I can't get into the whole bulky look." Kaminari smiled gratefully. "Thanks, baby," he said as he kissed her softly on the lips. "You're welcome," she said as she kissed him back. "I was in the middle of starting dinner for us when you turned up. Come and let me show you the rest of the place, then you can help me get the food started." "Sounds good, cutie," he replied, hopping off the bed and picking up her shirt before shaking it out a bit and handing it to her. Kairi showed him the rest of her small apartment, and Kaminari calmed himself down a bit. He was really smitten with this one, so he wanted her to be comfortable before they took their relationship to the next level. And there ends chapter 35. See you tomorrow for chapter 36.